Hello guys, how we doing? This is new project that we decided to do, and it's called Football and Soccer. So welcome guys. Just a podcast where I guess fans like us could just talk to each other just like we're talking in the bar, just like we're talking how we do usually. You just wanted to kind of have that vibe to it. You know what I mean? Just see where it goes and stuff like that. So, just football, talk about football or soccer, however you want to call it. We're going to be talking about our favorite teams. We're going to be doing talking about Premier League, Champions League, all that jazz. We're also musicians, so we're going to try to mix in some like music stuff here and there, see where it goes and all that. So yeah, that being said, I'm Kev. I support United, Manchester United, that is. And, I love soccer. I love football. So we're here to talk about some of that stuff. We're from, from Jersey, USA. So, it gives us a chance for the USA fans to have their say on the sport, so to speak. So yeah. And then we got my boy Chris.
Yo, what's good?
We're just like, friends talking about the sport. So we're going to have that same vibe for you guys today. But yeah, I kind of wanted to start with the intro with the sport in the U.S., how soccer or football is in this country. So it's not as popular as people think, and it's not a that big of a sport because, football, baseball, basketball dominates pretty much. But it's a big sport here, and we got into it at an early age.
Around this area, it's pretty. I mean, it's not as big as the other sports, like you said, but around this area, I mean, growing up in Hispanic community, there are a lot of fans. But I guess to answer your question, I probably got into soccer when I was maybe 11, watching the 2006 World Cup in Germany.
I love that World Cup. That was a good World Cup, man.
It was a great introduction
to
footy for me. I had watched some of 2002, South Korea and Japan co-hosting. I vaguely remember. I don't think I've ever mentioned this to you, but I remember the 98 World Cup going on. But I was 4. Barely. I was 3. Just small memories.
Yeah, that's the one that France had. This.
Yeah,
that's
France hosted.
Team.
France hosted.
They had like
and won.
Vieira.
Yeah.
Zinedine Zidane.
Lilian Thuram.
True.
Thierry
Deschamps.
Henry. Yeah, Didier Deschamps. Yeah, a lot of star power. That year for sure. And I mean, a lot of those players went on to win, titles. I mean, Zinedine Zidane went to Real Madrid, did a lot of work over there. Thierry, I think Vieira also played. They played in Arsenal, right?
Yeah,
if I'm correct. Yeah, they had an invincible season. Although I mean, they had a lot of draws, but I mean, let's not talk about that. Let's not get into that. Still a good season nonetheless.
So, what got you into like not the sport, but what got you into your team? Like,
so for those who don't know, I'm a Bayern Munich fan. I would like to say that, I mean, it had to be watching Germany's performance in the 2006 World Cup. I mean, they didn't win, but they did very well. So I was already interested in Germany. Players like Bastian Schweinsteiger.
They had a good team in that.
Yeah.
That they were. I remember they won a lot of the group stage. I think they won every game or something like that.
I believe so. My memory is.
But they had a good team. Like,
But
they had like Michael Ballack too, or something like that.
Michael Ballack played for Chelsea. They had Jens Lehmann, I think. He was a keeper for Arsenal back in the day. But stellar team. And just seeing some of those players who played for Bayern Munich, I guess that's what just drew me in. Also playing FIFA growing up, that helped. I had the UEFA Champions League game.
Nice.
That came out for like PlayStation 2.
Yeah, that's kind of what got me into the sport in general. I've always liked it because my dad, he always liked the sport, but he didn't like the teams that we like, or the teams like the big teams, so to speak. He liked the teams from where he's from, like, the Ecuadorian league and stuff like that. And he used to play when he was younger, so he would always like like talk to me about it, but I was never really like into it like that until, I mean, I was interested in it, but I remember 2002 World Cup, the for the World Cup game, I think it was for PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Some guy gave it to me. One of my friends just gave me the game. He was like a little older, and he just gave me the game, and I went home and I played it, and I was like, this is a good game, man. Like I remember like doing chilenas, like scoring the chilenas. And then that kind of like got me into the sport, and then obviously the 2006 World Cup and all that. Watching it with my dad, you know, my country being in it, like Ecuador being in it, watching it with my dad, like that was like when I started getting into the sport, and then I guess I never really had a team. I kind of liked, you know, I was one of those like American fans who are like, oh, do you have a favorite team? And they're like, no, you know, I just like the sport. We just
in general.
In general, I just watch. I liked Arsenal. I liked Chelsea, because those are like the good teams. I liked United, but I wasn't like, yeah, I have to pick a team or nothing like that. And then I think when Antonio Valencia came into the team after the World Cup, I was like, I really liked him, obviously, because he's an Ecuadorian player. So I was like, that's kind of like what, and also because they're always winning. You know, they won Champions League.
Very,
you know,
very powerful team.
They won Premier Leagues and stuff like that. So that's what kind of got me into the team, and that's how I became a United fan. And of course, like Wayne Rooney and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
but it's cool because
because
over here it's not like we said it earlier. It's mainly like baseball and football. Like we go to work and like, unless you're Hispanic, if you're like white Italian or whatever, like they're not gonna know anything about soccer. They're gonna know like one or two teams, and they'll be most likely talk to you about like baseball and football, like American football and basketball, and you know, it's great sports, but it's always like, I'm sure in other countries it's like soccer or football is like the main stuff over there. So
almost
it's like
always.
Exactly. So it's just cool. You know, we wanted the U.S. fans to kind of like have a say into the sport, but yeah. So I want to move into like the transfer window and stuff like that with both our respective teams. We'll start with that. I guess for you, let's say you guys who'd you guys get in so far? You guys got Kim and Jae.
Yeah, Kim and Jae, defender, plays he's Korean,
which is a good signing, I think so. Like
he's a solid defender. I mean, he just came off of a title win in Italy with Napoli.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, Napoli have been fighting for that title for God knows how long, and they finally
you guys needed him because Maguire. I mean,
Upamecano. Upamecano, yeah, he's
he
not as solid as he started off pretty well, but I mean, just a shaky defender. But I think what you know, you can work on that, but I think it was losing Lucas Hernandez, which was a bigger blow. You know,
where did he go to?
He's in PSG.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And I wish him well. He's a great defender. I mean, you know, it's unfortunate.
You guys lost Alaba too a couple years back.
Yeah, David Alaba plays in Real Madrid. Did exceptionally well.
But you guys had the lid. The lid was pretty good, right?
Yeah, the lid's still there.
He was doing pretty good.
He's an exceptional defender.
Yeah.
I think he's. I mean, it was his first season, I believe, and he stood out.
It was his first season. Yeah.
You know,
Kim and Jae and the lid would probably be like and then Upamecano as like the backup or something like that.
It's looking like that.
Yeah. Who else are you guys gonna?
Well, we got Rafael Guerreiro from Dortmund.
Oh, you guys did?
Yeah, I think he's hurt though, actually. So that's kind of
He's a baller, man.
Yeah, he's a baller. He's a good player. You know, he won a Pokal with Dortmund, which is great. I mean,
yeah.
You know, Pokals aren't easy. I mean, Bayern always getting kicked out of it. So, and last but not least, Konrad Leimer played for Leipzig, played for a couple of years, did well. Also won a Pokal.
Interesting.
Great, you know, decent midfielder.
And you guys got rid of Sabitzer. Who else did you guys get rid of?
Sabitzer went to Dortmund.
Good move for him, man. I like Sabitzer, but it just wasn't the team for him.
No.
Also at United, when he went to United, like there was other defenders. I mean, midfielders better than him. So like he deserves that move where like he's gonna be like a star player like he was in Leipzig.
I agree. I'm glad that he's found a good team, and I hope that he has a lot of starts. He's a good player. I mean, he played for both our teams.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, again, you know, two teams that have pretty solid lineups. And, Sabitzer's the type of player, who should start. He's a good player. I just hope he finds his footing in Dortmund. All the best to him. I think that's it for now in terms of big signings. That's the way Bayern's been doing.
That's not bad. United's been okay. It's been good. It's been good. I like Onana. The guy's crazy. That guy just plays
risky.
That guy just plays like so hot. He really got chipped. Like, did you see the goals where he got chipped in preseason? This guy's crazy.
I did. I wanted to call you, but I didn't want to rub it in or anything.
Nah, but
it's preseason,
Yeah, of course, but I feel like that brings more pressure for the defense, right? Like, that you're gonna have to play with a high line if you lose the ball in defense or in midfield and the goalkeeper is that high up. I think like at that point it should be on the defender whoever loses the ball, because like you already know your goalkeeper is gonna be caught out.
Yeah, it's all tactics.
Exactly.
If that's the tactic, I mean, you cannot afford to get past. If you're playing a high line, you get defeated immediately.
Of course,
your keeper. I mean, it's one thing's for sure though. Eric Ten Hag knows Onana on a personal level. I believe he played in Ajax.
Yeah, he played in Ajax
before he went to Inter.
Which is a plus. If you have a player that you've played with in the past that it's always a plus. But yeah, I think it's a good signing. De Gea, was good, but obviously like to be a modern keeper, he wasn't that old school keeper. Yes, like he was like that old school shot stopper, very good shot stopper, but he wouldn't be able to play in like a Bayern team or nothing like that because the way you guys play, it's a high press team and all that. So hopefully we'll see more of that with Onana, and we also got Mount, which is okay. I want to like reserve my judgment for him because I want to see how he does in the season, and plus like coming from a bad like Chelsea team that performed like really bad, and he wasn't even part of for most of it. I want to reserve my judgment. I want to see how he does. So it's okay. Mount is okay. And Højlund, which is a new striker, but he's very young, so I don't want to put any pressure on him. 20 years old. Like putting a pressure on a 20-year-old. Like you could put a pressure on a 20-year-old if you play for like a team like, let's say, Leverkusen or something like that. That's not such high expectations, but at United, or like at Bayern, it's like, dude, if you're putting a 20-year-old in there, it's like, so I want to see how he copes with it, and I'm sure he will, and I'm sure the manager Erik ten Hag won't put him in like in the firing, like he'll kind of ease him into it, and he'll use Rashford
as he should.
Use Rashford, sub him in, start him like at the, let's say, some of the cup games, some Premier League games, then start Rashford, so I think he's going to manage it very well, which I think he should for the first season to see how he is. But yeah, the transfer window's okay. We need more players. We need a CDM. We need a center back. We were supposed to get Kim and Jai, but the board is trash, and you guys took advantage of that, because we didn't have any money, because we needed to like sell money. We had other priorities, so fortunately we couldn't get him. But yeah, we need another striker and stuff like that. So
speaking of selling, I know Fred to Fenerbahce is
it just got done today. The
days of McFred are over,
bro.
Which it's kind of, sad to see, because
it's funny because like
it was pretty funny watching. It was fun watching them
because you know how they call McTominay McMayo, Scotty McMayo. So what was
McFred, dude?
So what was Fred? Just the cheese?
Yeah, dude.
That's all it was. Just like a grilled cheese sandwich with mayo. That's all that midfield was. It wasn't no pound, quarter pounder burger.
No, it wasn't heavy. It was pretty light. And Weghorst, he's gone, but I don't know.
He's gone to Hoffenheim.
Oh, he's going to Germany.
Yeah, he's going to Hoffenheim. He just signed to Hoffenheim, but he wasn't good enough for United. Like
no, he didn't do much.
That guy was holding us back, and thankfully, Erik ten Hag, saw that, and he was like, it was just like a stopgap for us and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about obviously we need a striker. So Harry Kane was a striker that was kind of like mentioned a lot in the media and obviously by the
Still
fans
is.
and stuff like that, because he's a top striker. But obviously, today it got reported that he wants the Bayern move, and they're gonna probably come to an agreement soon. So it's like, what do you think about that? Because like that is something, in my opinion, that Bayern have lacked since Lewandowski left. Because you guys have a triple thing, but he's not. He's not gonna win you a Champions League or nothing like that. In my opinion,
no, he's not. I mean, Choupo-Moting is not that he's a terrible striker, but we need that number 9. We need that role, that poacher.
Yeah.
And that's that's what we see in Harry Kane. That's what everyone sees in Harry Kane. Harry Kane is an exceptional striker, and there has been an agreement between clubs. The only thing that needs to be essentially finalized is just him giving the thumbs up to go and play for one of the biggest teams in the world. And it might not be, how do I put this? Harry Kane is probably one of the best Hotspur players.
He is. I think he's like
up there,
the
up there with Alan Shearer. And
for Tottenham, he's probably their best player ever.
Absolutely.
Well, along with Gareth Bale and Modric and all of them.
He unfortunately, he couldn't do what he wanted to do. And that's, whether it was winning the Prem, winning the Champions League, even the FA. I mean, let's be honest, they haven't won anything in a while, and it's a shame because
he's in Spurs, bro.
Because
no one wins anything in Spurs.
No one wins anything. Unfortunately, it's a shame. He worked so hard, and it just nothing came of it. I mean, I think his best course of action was basically seek new horizons, play for a different team.
I'm surprised though, because he wanted to break that the Premier League goal scoring record, and it's like he's English, and to relocate his family, so there was
tough.
that he's like, oh, he wants to stay because of his family and stuff like that. He wants to be he doesn't want to move his family too far. So I'm surprised that he took it. But honestly, that shows ambition in my opinion. Is like, dude, I want to win trophies. Like, I'm one of the best strikers in the world, and for me, like, if Harry Kane joins Bayern, you guys have like a high chance of winning the Champions League, because he got like 30 goals or 28 goals, wherever it was, in a crap like let's be honest, a crap Tottenham team. And the good thing about Bayern is that, dude, they don't play with like where the number 9 has to come and act like as a 10. He's just gonna have to poach most of the time. Like, you guys just feed him. Dude, he's gonna be like a Haaland in the City team. He's gonna score like for fun, and that's, if you guys get Harry Kane, that brings you guys, that upgrades you guys massively, in my opinion.
And that's hoping all things go well. I believe it was 110 million euros. Which
Yeah,
I think
100.
is a little excessive.
100 euros, yeah,
But
which would be like 85 pounds or something like that.
That's a lot of money for a striker.
That's like the world record, right, for Bayern.
I think
That's like
so,
the
yeah.
most expensive signing I think they've ever
And
done.
Bayern aren't known for
Exactly.
splurging. They don't really spend a lot of money on their play. I mean, unless there are exceptions, but to get a striker of that quality, I mean, I guess at this point it makes sense, because Bayern are in dire need of a striker.
He's a great addition to you guys, 100%.
Absolutely. And I hope it goes well. I hope he agrees. I hope he joins, and I hope we can win more titles. Whether it's in the the Bundesliga, the Champions League, the Pokal as well.
What do you guys think about this? What do you, like, Bayern fans? Like, so a lot of fans from like the UK are saying that, why would he go to Bundesliga? It's just a farmers league. Winning in Bayern doesn't mean much. Winning the league at Bayern won't mean much. Winning any trophies at Bayern won't win that much. So to stay in England and win like a FA Cup or go to another team and try to win the Prem and stuff like that. What do you say about that? About people saying that it's not, like, what's the whole point of going to Bayern? Everyone wins at Bayern because they win every year. You know what I mean? So to speak, like, should he not go there because of that, or what do you?
I don't think
about
so.
that?
I mean, we've had this discussion many times, about how many people call the Bundesliga a farmers league, but there are solid teams there. It's not like Bayern wins every single match. It's not like they win, 34 matches?
Yeah.
They don't win every single match. They fight, And I mean, of course, I do agree that the Premier League is probably one of the most competitive. English football is probably up there, but that doesn't mean that these other teams can't compete.
Yeah.
I mean, Eintracht Frankfurt won. They won a Europa League not too long ago. Solid team, and sure, Bayern have been winning for the past 10 years in the Bundesliga, but that doesn't mean that the other teams are just giving it to them.
And that doesn't mean that like winning something at Bayern won't mean anything.
No, I think it means everything. And
well, if he goes there, he has to see it that way. You know what I mean? That's the only way he's gonna go there, if he sees it the way you're saying.
And not to mention, I mean, what was I gonna say? It's a new style of football for Harry Kane. It's not like he's just gonna go over there and like get used to it. Who knows? Maybe he has to work a little bit harder.
That's true.
We don't know.
That's true. But one thing for sure is that I think he won't have any trouble adapting, because winning in the Prem is fast paced. He might not be able to he might not have that pace, but I feel like he can deal with it. I feel like he gets himself in the right places and stuff like that. And he's a great finisher, with his head and his foot, like everything, like. So I think he'll have exactly. I think he'll have no issues with that. I'm jealous because I wish we had Harry Kane, but at the same time, maybe he wasn't the right striker for us. In this moment in time, maybe he goes into Bundesliga for a couple years, smashes it over there, and then comes back to the Prem or something like that. Come back to the
Prem. He can even come back to
Tottenham.
To Tottenham.
That's true.
And who knows?
Who have trophies?
Maybe he can win a trophy.
But yeah, very great. I wanted to ask you about Benjamin Pavard, because Pavard was linked to United, and a lot of people are saying that he's a center back, and that there was a quote that he said that his preferred position is the center back position. But I've always known Pavard as like a right back, like one of the best right backs at one time in Europe, in my opinion. When you guys were like winning the Champions League like a couple years back and stuff like that. Exactly. So what do you think about Pavard? Like, what can you tell me about the player? Is he a good player if we get him as a center back, so to speak? Like, because that's what we're looking for supposedly. Is he good at center back?
It's a very good question. I think.
Or has he played there? Like, I haven't seen him. I don't remember him playing at center back. I remember always him playing on the right wing.
Maybe like on some occasions, but usually his position is right back. But here's the thing. I mean, sure, there are players that know their positions. If he says he wants to play right back, then that's center back rather. If he wants to play center back, then I guess that's his position. But I mean of course coaches and managers they know best, right? But then again, I mean, do they? I mean, it's not like Benjamin Pavard's had like terrible seasons in Bayern. Sure, he's looked shaky at times.
That'll be a surprise.
He might not be the best on the right because he's not the fastest.
Ooh, okay.
I think he had a better attack rate, if anything.
Okay, it's interesting. I heard he's not that good in the air either.
No. So
like as a center back in the league, in the Premier League, it's like if you're not good in the air, like it's not a good thing. And plus, we have Lisandro Martinez, which. He's short, but his positioning is amazing. Yeah,
he just has.
But he's not gonna get it right all the time. So he needs someone to like kind of complement him in a way that's good in the air, like like Varane. Like Varane is tall. He's good in the air. He's good at like making those defensive headers, but it's also fast. So I'm just curious about that because like we're linked to Pavard, but I haven't seen much of him in the center back position, and supposedly we're linked with him because we're looking for a new center back. Because of Harry Maguire, leaving and all that.
Yeah, he's gone. I think that's at the discretion of Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is an excellent coach. I mean, look how much he's done in one season.
I agree. He's done a lot.
I mean,
he's got rid of like the big boys. He's got rid of like Ronaldo. He got rid of De Gea. Now he's getting rid of Harry Maguire, and he's looking to get rid of McTominay, which I hope he goes because his time is up, man. Like we need better players to win us a league or to win us trophies. I don't think McTominay would be the player for us. And Harry Maguire to West Ham is looking like a done deal. So what do you think about that? About the Harry Maguire to West Ham? You think it'll be a good move for him?
I think it's probably the best move at this point.
I agree.
It's just blunder after blunder. I mean, we
He
saw him
became-
live a couple weeks ago, and it was
He got booed.
yeah, and just watching him play,
He became a meme. Like like we have friends that don't watch the Premier League as much, but they know about Harry Maguire, and they know they send me memes about like when Upamecano had that stinker against the City. They're like Upper Maguire. They're sending me memes and stuff. So it's like I feel bad for the dude almost, because like I feel bad for him, but I don't. I feel bad for him because I feel like he's become like a laughingstock in that sense, but at the same time, it's like for example, let's say he got booed in Dublin. He got booed when we saw him. He got booed recently in Dublin when we had a preseason game, and everyone's like, that's not right. That's not cool that you boo a player, this and that. But I was like, at the same time, I was like, Pogba got booed, Martial got booed in Old Trafford, and Old Trafford is like a fortress, and no one boos players there, but they got booed. But now that Harry Maguire is getting booed, everyone's like, oh, that's not right. Why? Because he's English? I feel like there's some like sort of bias to that. It's like, dude, you're getting booed because you're not good at what you're playing. It's not like, you're getting booed for no other reason. People in UFC, like, people come out and before the fights and they boo them. And then you don't see them like be like, oh, that's messed up that they're booing them. No, they go on the octagon and they fight their hearts out. They fight their ass out. So it's like, I don't know. I just think that like being booed, like people making a big deal about it, dude. It's not like you're being racist to the guy or nothing like that. You're just getting booed, man. Like
fans have a say, man. This is the whole point of football, dude. You go, you watch, you boo who you want, you cheer who you want. It's your opinion.
Of
You're
course.
entitled to do whatever you want. If there is a player who is not doing it well, that's all the reason, But what they should do is use that to their advantage.
Of course, and no one wants to like, obviously, like if you're abusing a person, for their ability, and like that's different, right? Like calling them names and like abusing a person for and you hate the person just because of the sport. Like, no, like you judge a person by their ability on the pitch, right? And if he's not good in, which he hasn't been,
Clearly, no, nothing.
Clearly, he hasn't been that type of player for United on the pitch. He's getting booed for those. So I just wanted to express that, because like I feel like, it in the UK it's like biased, and I'm sure people get booed all the time. You know what I mean? But just dude,
that's any sport.
Of course,
anyone. You're either gonna get booed or you're gonna get cheered. You're
exactly.
gonna be loved, or you're gonna be hated. That's just the way the sport is. Of course, there's that bias, But ultimately, the fans should be able to say what they want, of course, to a certain point. Harry Maguire has had, the past 2 seasons have been fairly bad. I think, what was his best season? I think maybe like the first year he was in?
Yeah, I think like the first 2 years was when we got to like the Europa final against Villarreal. He was, I think, reportedly injured for the last game, but then he was able to come back. I remember we're like, oh, Harry Maguire's going to be out. It's going to be a big loss. I remember thinking that. And it's like now years later, it's like he's 4th choice center back. So at West Ham, he's going to be captain supposedly. So it's a great move for him. They play a very defensive style, and I think he'll boss it at West Ham, which is great. No one's always going to be good at your club, but when you move on, like, you have to be happy for the person. And it's like, it's never been about anything else but your ability to play football. You're slow, and he wasn't even aerially. Like, he I think he only scored like with his head. He only scored like, I can't even remember. And I remember at Leicester he would be scoring goals with his head all the time.
That's when he went to United. He did exceptionally well in Leicester.
Of course, and it's like I don't think United fans should look at it like in a bad way, in a negative way. We just look at it in a positive way. He's moved on.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we're all at that point. You know what I mean? Where
sometimes
it's like
things don't work out, man.
Exactly.
And it is what it is. I mean, I guess what we can compare it to is, Sure, he didn't do well at United. He might do well at West Ham, but it doesn't mean he's a terrible center back. Look how he did in England.
He's a great center back for them.
Yeah. He did well in England. It's not like he was doing terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
He did exceptionally
He
well.
doesn't fit the system. You know, he'll be a better player at West Ham. And you know what? If you end up leaving Harry Maguire, all the best of luck from all of us for sure. Cool. So let's move on to I want to do some predictions because the start of the season is this weekend, and I want to do some Premier League predictions. So we'll start off with we could do a top 6, but I'll probably do top 8.
Well, before anything, let's I guess we could talk about the first game of the season, which I believe is Burnley City.
Oh, Burnley City, yeah. Burnley looking good. Company hopefully comes back and get some revenge. For them, I think from the FA Cup from getting spanked because they got spanked. Yeah. But I don't know too much about Burnley. All I know is that they have a company as manager and that they're playing a really good. They in the championship, they won almost every game. I think they only lost to Sheffield United or something like that, and they dominated and smashed teams and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a very exciting season for them. I just think City will definitely edge it for sure.
Probably.
So that's going to be tomorrow, actually. So, that's going to be the first game of the season. There's going to be some good games.
So, since we're talking about promoted teams, we have Burnley, we have Luton.
Yeah, Luton and Sheffield United. Yeah, Sheffield. Those are the three.
Sheffield are back.
Yeah, Sheffield are back.
We'll see for how long.
I don't think that long, which goes into the predictions. So, So my predictions, these are my realistic predictions, okay? This is not what I want, obviously. So, City to win the league, Arsenal second, United third, Liverpool fourth, Tottenham fifth, Newcastle sixth, Chelsea seventh, and Brighton eighth. I know it's supposed to top 6, but I just came up with all of them. City, they have the best manager in the world. They have one of the best players. Yeah, even though they lost a lot of players, I still think they have the experience to get over the line no matter what because they're just that good, and Pep is a genius, and I just think no one is on their level, and but I don't want them to win it because and then it's gonna become like the Bundesliga, like a farmers league, which is 4th team in a row. No one's ever done that in England, so someone's got to stop them. I hope they don't win it. I really don't. I prefer Arsenal to win it, even though I hate Arsenal, but I would be able to tolerate that more just because of that whole 4 repeat thing. So, City, Arsenal second. Although Arsenal, I don't know. I don't think they'll be as good as they were before, as last season, because of Xhaka. Xhaka's a big loss. Xhaka he chipped in with goals. He was a boss in that midfield. I think he complemented Partey very well. Odegaard, he let Odegaard do his thing. I think now they got Kai Havertz, which I don't think is at the level of Xhaka. Rice, more at that level. So, they'll definitely come for me second. Obviously, Champions League is gonna hinder them. They don't have that big of a squad. Last year, Saliba got injured, and they cost them games in the league. So I think it's gonna be tough for them. First time back in Champions League after how many years? 7-8 years. How are they gonna cope with it? They had that mentality drop last season. They're probably going to have the same, in my opinion, in the Champions League. Or they might prioritize getting far in the Champions League because they don't want to embarrass them. Or they, not that embarrassed, but they want to put on a good show for the first time back, which will then hinder their, the games in the Premier League, in my opinion. So, second, but honestly, I could see them being third. United, we did good business, but I feel like Eric Ten Hag goes strong in every competition, and we don't have the depth to compete in all fronts, especially for the Prem. So I feel like maybe he'll go for an FA Cup, a Champions League, and we'll just fall short on the league. So that's why I think United will be third. Liverpool, their defense is pretty bad. They don't got a number 6 either. Fabinho left, Henderson left. They had big experienced players left. Their attack is great, but I feel like midfield and defensively, they'll just get cut open to shreds, in my opinion.
They do have Alexis McAllister now.
Yeah, but he's injured or in the beginning of the season. I think he just got injured. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But he's more of an attacking player anyway. You know, they need defensive minded player. Tottenham. This is a weird one, but I really rate their manager. I think he's gonna do a good job. I know they might lose Harry Kane, but I think that playing 1 day a week, you know, they're not in Europe. I think they're gonna implement their style a little bit better. They think they have some of the players besides the defense. They're definitely gonna lead goals, but I think that they'll be in there. Newcastle, they're gonna drop because of Champions League. They don't have that much depth, but they'll still have a good amount to do well in the league. So I have them on, I think, 6th. Then Chelsea 7th. You know, I just don't think Chelsea have the experience. They lost so many players. You know, it's going to take a while for them to bet in the, you know, if they get Caicedo or like more midfielders, it could change, you know. So this is just as of right now. And, you know, Brighton, I think that they'll be 8th, and Aston Villa, they won't make it because they'll focus more on I think they'll win the Conference League because Unai Emery is like that. So that's my predictions of the top 8. But you could just give me your top 4 or top 6. It doesn't have to be top 8.
I'll give you my top 4.
Okay, cool.
Based on what we've seen in you know, from last season and a little bit of the preseason. I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with you. Manchester City look exceptionally well despite losing a couple of people. But I think they can still do extraordinary things. I mean, Holland, one thing's for sure. Holland hasn't really done much in the preseason.
Yeah, but that's the same.
And in the Community Shield.
But that was but that's the same as last year.
That's true.
He didn't score. He missed like sitters in the Community Shield, and he ended up breaking the goal scoring record.
Yeah,
that guy's a machine, man. That guy's an alien. He's gonna win the Golden Boot, 100%. That's my prediction for that as well.
He probably can. I mean, the guy, the way he moves, the way he looks for space.
The guy's a monster,
he's
bro.
He's amazing in the box. It's extraordinary. I say City first. I mean, I have to say I have a lot of hope for United. I want to say United second. I hope so, man. Well. I think they are on they're on this little magic carpet ride, man, and they're had a great last season. Preseason was, you know, all right. They had some wins, they had some losses. It happens. But I think they have what it takes to challenge for the title.
Interesting. I hope so, man.
And then I say Arsenal third. I think Arsenal drop. I mean, we watched the Prem closely last year. Arsenal were on top. If you're leading from December, you're normally gonna win. It has been like that for a while, and I think Arsenal was that first team to kind of, you know, choke. And it's unfortunate, you know. And
they got dropped, and they lost to Sporting in the Europa League, and they lost players. They lost Saliba. They lost, I think, Jesus at one point, even though Nketiah came in. But that's Saliba loss affected them because they don't have the depth. And then they lost the league because they went off, you know. So they're going to probably want to go hard in Champions League. So they're going to I agree with you, like, as far as, like, that mentality. It's not there yet, in my opinion.
I mean, that being said, again, man, some people might not think that the Community Shield means much, but they won the Community Shield. They tied last second. I don't know if you watched the Community Shield.
I watched it.
We were talking.
I turned it off. I missed the goal. I thought because I turned it off at like the 85th. I was like, City's gonna win or whatever.
I really thought they were. I really thought that they were gonna. That City were gonna, like, just had it in the bag, just 1-0, easy, and then who tied the game? It
was Trossard.
There you go, Trossard.
Yeah. It's like a deflection from Trossard.
Deflection off of a Kanji.
Yeah. It was a Kanji. Yeah.
Ortega couldn't really do much about it. Just all sudden.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Then they went on to win in PKs. You saw fucking Vieira's top bin fucking shot.
That was
I could not. I was.
Down syndrome Bruno?
Yeah. I haven't heard that one.
he looks like
bro. I mean,
he looks like Bruno.
that shot was gross.
Nah, though. That was top bins for sure. That was top ends. But yeah, Arsenal. You have Arsenal third. Who you have fourth?
That's the thing. I really don't know. I mean, there are so many. I mean,
Just spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
I mean, Newcastle looked pretty good. Newcastle did very well. Held third place.
Yeah.
For a really long time, they were fighting.
I just think
even though Arsenal and City were gone.
I just think that being in the Champions League is gonna be too much for them. That's why they put them drop. But hey, you might never you never know. They could have that mentality. Like they have the squad depth. Now they have Tonali.
Yeah,
it's a great addition to their midfield,
Absolutely.
which there was already great.
And he's young.
Yeah, 100%.
He played well for Milan.
Isaac too. Isaac's a great striker, and he only came in I think, or he was injured or came in something like that. He played half the season and he bagged goals. Imagine what he can do for a full season. So,
exactly.
So you're going with Newcastle?
I think so. Maybe Chelsea or Liverpool.
Yeah,
but
pick one.
I'll say Newcastle.
Newcastle. Now. Cool. Gotcha. What about real quick? Just relegation predictions. I'll go first. Relegation. Wolves, no chance.
I agree.
Peace, big back dogs.
Yeah,
Peace.
They've lost.
Lopetegui.
Yeah.
Peace.
They've lost a lot of players over the years, ever since they.
Neves. Yeah, I just think Neves he left. I think a couple other players left. The manager left literally 6 days before the season starts, which is weird. But yeah, I just think they're not gonna have the mentality or players to go through, to make it through. I think Sheffield United. I don't see them staying up. Yeah, so I think they're gonna come in, come back out. And Luton Town. Although, I heard going to the ground is very hard, but I just don't think they'll have enough to make it past all the other teams. But yeah, that's my three. What about you?
I think you got it spot on.
Yeah, do you agree?
I don't know if Luton have ever been in the Prem. At
least
not recently. I mean,
yeah,
we talked the Prem. I mean, when did the Prem start? In the 90s, right?
No, I think it's been 10 years or more than 10 years since Luton came back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been a while, but still, it's I still think they'll go straight back down, in my opinion. But hey, if they prove me wrong, dude, fair play. Because everyone is writing them off. Yeah. So that if they stay up, that's you guys did a great job, So yeah, you pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for a dark horse of the season. Dark horse of the team that does good that you don't expect to do well, or that kind of surprises you. Mine is Tottenham. I think Tottenham will do good because Tottenham, everyone's putting them in 8th, 9th place, but I think that playing one game a week, I really rate their manager. I think that they'll make it into the top 6, in my opinion. I could be wrong because Kane is gonna leave, and how the hell are they gonna get those goals? But I think they'll find a way. They'll probably get someone in, or they'll probably share some goals between the front three, Madison as well, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna stick with it. It could bite me in the ass, but who knows? But that's my dark horse. Do you have any dark horse or not really?
I'm gonna say West Ham. I think
because McMayo and Maguire.
Who knows, bro?
We
never know. They are coming off a conference win. They did win the conference last year.
Yeah, but they came they almost got relegated. Bro,
sometimes you gotta ride that wave. You know what I'm saying? Even though you are not doing well in one competition, because let's be honest, they did not do well. They won a conference championship. Who did they play? They played Fiorentina, I believe.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose. They lost Declan Rice. They're gonna lose
Paqueta to City, maybe.
And I think one other player that I forgot was gonna leave. But hey, if they get Maguire and McTominay and they make it better than expected, that United fans are gonna be like, oh, we should have never let go of Maguire. You see, he's good. We should have never let go of McMayo.
I somehow doubt that, bro. They're gonna be like, yeah, I'm glad we did, because they probably
trust me. There's some United fans that are gonna say that, bro.
That's delusional.
If they do that, it is delusional, 100%. Because
with all due respect to both players, they're professional players.
Of course.
Let's be honest. I mean, they haven't really produced much.
Cool. So yours is West Ham. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Real quick, we're gonna do some Bundesliga predictions real quick. Since you watch a lot of Bundesliga, I don't, but I'm gonna go with Bayern. Again, Bayern, if they get Harry Kane, they're gonna smash it. Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen and Frankfurt.
You say Frankfurt?
Mm-hmm.
I want to throw Leipzig in there because I think Leipzig, they've always been. I mean, ever since they've come into the Bundesliga, they gave.
But they're getting rid of Vardiol.
Yeah,
Vardiol, which is a huge loss on
it's
them.
It's a huge loss.
Yeah.
They have lost a couple players, but I still think they have what it takes.
So yours is going to be Bayern,
Dortmund. I say instead of Leverkusen, but then again, Leverkusen, I believe they got granted Xhaka, dude, which is huge. I mean,
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, I think they'll do pretty good. I don't know too much about the last team, Frankfurt.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about them, but I'll put him in there. But Leverkusen, I like Leverkusen. Hincapié.
Yeah,
fellow Paisa, Ecuadorian. I like him.
Solid.
Yeah, he's a good player. Just in the World Cup, shot the bed, but solid player. They have good players in Bayer Leverkusen. So yours is gonna be what's the fourth one?
I say instead of Leverkusen, I say Leipzig.
Okay, cool. Not a bad shout.
But I keep Frankfurt.
Not a bad shout.
But we're gonna have to just wait and see.
Gotcha.
It's gonna be fun, man.
So yours is Bayern, Dortmund, Leipzig, and Frankfurt. Gotcha.
Frankfurt.
Cool,
wait till next week.
I know.
Can't wait. It's gonna be fun, bro.
And then okay, cool. Right before we wrap up, I just wanna go over the FA time extension about what are your feelings on the extended time, kind of like the World Cup.
So watching the World Cup, obviously I think we saw a good amount of the World Cup. There were ridiculous fucking additions.
It's like 12 minutes.
Ridiculous. Like a guy, dude, a guy fucking farts on the fucking pitch. And they got to clear the air and they got to add like 20 seconds. Sometimes it's too much. I think they're going to, you risk injury, I think.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Your players are tired. These players are going to be tired, dude, playing 90 minutes. You're going to add in another 10. And I think that's like conservatively.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how it's going to be. We don't. But, I mean, based on what we've seen with the changes in the World Cup, I mean, if they add way more time, you risk that. I mean, you could say that, other teams do get more time to maybe equalize.
Well, Arsenal equalized because of the stoppage time. They equalized in like the 100th minute or something. If that didn't exist, they would have lost that the Community Shield.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, and I mean, good on them, I guess. But, I mean, when is enough, right?
Yeah.
Because 90 minutes, I mean, 90 minutes is a lot. Right?
It is.
That's 100.
They should have more. They should have more substitutions then. If they're gonna do that,
and
I think
the irony is that they've already added 2 more. We have.
Then they should add. Then they should add at least one other one. You know what I mean? What if someone gets injured?
Yeah.
Like I think that's how you gotta balance it. Okay, fine. We're gonna add more time, but we're gonna have we will allow you to do an extra substitution after like the 80th minute or after the 9th. You know what I mean? Kind of something like that could kind of. Because people are gonna get injured. You're definitely right. Did you see what Varane said? Rafael Varane came out and he was like, it's like he's basically like slaying it, saying that it was not a good thing. Like, players are tired and that's way too much football on them, and some of them are going to play internationally.
Exactly. There's
and
so many other.
They're overworked.
There's so many other competitions.
They're so overworked, and then they can't perform because they've been, busting their ass off like for 100 minutes, the week before. And then they have to play another Champions League game, like a high-end game. It's just, I think it's gonna cause a lot of problems and a lot of issues with players in their injury, and I'm worried about that. But I can see why they did it, because a lot of the time wasting and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think that's part of the game. That I love that about the game. You know what I mean? Like the game is 90 minutes, and that's what it is. In my opinion, it should be like kind of like how the NFL do it, where like they stop the clock when the ball goes out of play, and it's like you don't have to worry about like those stoppages. You don't have to worry about none of that. The clock stops and the clock starts once you go out of bounds or once the play stops. That way, it's more organized, or not organized, but you don't have to worry about adding more time and players falling down and milking it. You know what I mean? Like, milk it all you want.
The clock's done.
The clock is stopped. Like, it's not gonna start until you play again. So that's my opinion. They should do it like that. I don't know if they think, or if people in the UK think that or whatever, but I think that'd be a good idea, personally. But yeah. So you're not for it?
No, not. I mean, we're just gonna have to see, see how it plays out. But I bet you that once the injuries start rolling in, once the issues start rolling in, there's gonna be.
It might not be worth it. Yeah, it might not be worth it at the end. In my opinion. Plus, like, a bunch of competitions are coming up, and Copa America, the World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup. It's just too much, man. And these players are gonna be so overworked. They're not even gonna have a summer to rest because it's just way too much, man.
I agree. I mean, but then again, a lot of people were complaining about VAR.
Yeah.
They
still are. They still are.
And as Americans, we're used to that VAR.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether it's in American football, if it's in baseball, even basketball. I mean, football. Every single touchdown has to be
reviewed. Yeah. There's times where, like, the touchdowns are reviewed incorrectly.
Yeah. And
that's what VAR is doing. Like, they're like, okay, sure, have it, but if you're gonna review it and then make a incorrect decision, then what's the whole point of VAR? I get that. I get that 100%. Like, the offside, if it's offside, they have the technology. Hopefully, the World Cup, they have it like that. That's fine. But when they have, like, these handballs and these fouls and these red cards and stuff like that, and it's, like, very controversial, it's like, it's just hard to, like, actually. And there's angles that manipulate how you see things and the perception of things, and then one angle looks good and the other angle it doesn't. Yeah. And I remember there was this one time where Rashford got clipped last season, and they said he dived, but he didn't, because you can see in one angle there was contact, and if there's contact, you're allowed to go down on the box because there's contact. Mm-hmm. That's the letter of the law, even though it's not that much. Like, there was contact and he clipped him. But in one camera that you didn't see it. So people were like, oh, Rashford was diving, but he wasn't. So it's like, it's hard to be, and then they get it wrong, and then they, they're like, oh, we're sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it is still, I guess VAR still is a little controversial.
It is.
Although I think a lot of people have accepted it. But, I mean, I guess maybe it is apples and oranges, because now you're literally, you're overworking these players to play extra time.
100%.
So, time will tell. We're just going to have to wait, see how the first couple of games go. I mean, or at least see one of the games where, like, there is a lot of time wasting.
Yeah, and see how it is.
Whether it's injuries or just, fucking around. We're just going to have to wait to see how much time they add.
Yeah,
that's true. But it could, I mean, when you are purposely wasting time, I mean, that's the issue. Someone's coming.
No. Well, anyway... so we could both agree on that.
Yeah.
100%.
Sure.
Cool, man. So let's wrap it up here then. It's been great. So this is kind of something that I kind of want to do on a regular, hopefully. So hopefully we'll see if they can make that happen. But yeah, thanks guys so much for watching, and we'll see you soon, man. Peace.
See you guys.